In this video, we're going to look at some options for modeling or delivering content while seeing all of your students. The first is just to use a second screen while screen sharing. So if we're in Zoom here with my friends, I'm going to go to the video icon, to video settings, general, and turn on use dual monitors. When I do that, my second screen it will pop up with another screen, and when I share, I can move this to the other screen and I can share what's over there on that screen. Now I can see my gallery view here in front of me. I can look up there to see the content that I'm delivering and that students are seeing on their shared screen. I'm going to bring that back over here for our second option. I'm going to keep the dual monitor mode on for the second option. Our second option is using a dot cam to deliver the material or model. So in this case, I'm going to do one version of this where I share screen, advanced, content from a second camera. Now on the other screen, I'm going to switch them over. On the other screen, I have the dot cam view that kids are seeing. So I can work on my dot cam and kids will see that. But then right in front of me, I have my gallery view again. So this is dual monitors so that I can use a dot cam in shared screen mode. I'm going to turn the dual monitors off and show you another way that we can use the dot cam. Now we're back to having one screen, one monitor, and I can, instead of sharing my screen for the dot cam, I can change the input. So go to the video icon and you'll see the different input cameras here. This is my dot cam. Basically just turns where my face was into the dot cam. And now I can spotlight that for students. So it's already spotlit. So I'm going to remove the spotlight, put the spotlight on. Now this is what they're seeing. I can still switch my side back to the gallery view. I can see all my kids and they can see in a spotlight view what I'm doing on the dot cam. So they still see the spotlight, they still see a view that looks like this, even though you've switched back to gallery view as long as you're using spotlight. And then one more example that I want to show you. Come back to my face. If you have a second device, it could be a phone, it could be, in this case, I'm using a Chromebook. I'm going to switch the input over to my Chromebook, the input for my dot cam. And this is even better. So now I'm signed in twice. The teacher is signed in twice. That's really helpful for lots of things, including breakout rooms. You can pull a student into a breakout room while still monitoring the main room. But in this case, for a dot cam, it's helpful for this reason. I'm going to start my video. You can see now that there is the dot cam because I turned the other device to that second input, just like I did with mine a second ago. I can spotlight both of them. So mine's already spotlit. I'm going to add a spotlight here, or I can either replace or add a spotlight. Now they're both spotlit. This is a view that kids are going to see. This is a great view for kids to be able to see your face as a teacher and the thing that you're modeling, whether it's something that you're writing or whether it's manipulatives. This is what they're looking at, even though you can switch back to a gallery view. So you can still see your gallery view. You can see all your students at once on one screen, but they're going to be seeing those two side-by-side images of the dot cam and of you as a teacher, especially with younger students. This is a great option for you to see all your students, model clearly, and they're seeing you with just one screen. So even if you have one screen, you can make this happen. That's in bold here because that's one of the best options that you have. Next, obviously, you can model with a physical whiteboard. So I'm going to turn this one back off, come back to spotlighting just me. So now this is the view that students are seeing. I have my whiteboard. I can model. Maybe the whiteboard's behind me. Maybe I'm modeling with cards or manipulatives. but I'm just teaching to the students, and I can be in gallery view. They will still see me spotlit. They will still see the big picture, but I will see all of them. We can use a shared application like a Jamboard or Google Docs. If you use a Google Doc, obviously I can still stay in the gallery view and see everyone. They have the Google Doc or the Jamboard in front of them. Anything that you write or draw on the Jamboard or the Google Doc, they're going to see popping up live, and you don't need to share your screen for that because it's a shared application. And then finally, you can embed a shared application like a Jamboard or a Google Draw into a Nearpod. So if you use Nearpod, students are seeing what's on the Nearpod without you sharing your screen. It's a shared application, but you can't write live into a Nearpod. So what you would need to do is use a Jamboard or Google Draw. That is going to be the thing that you're writing on, modeling on. You can put a background on it. You can put a problem or a text on it that you want to show annotations on, and you'll capture the link. I'll show you an example of that now. In this case, we have a Google slide that I have built some manipulatives on. So if I wanted to model with these manipulatives, they're drag and drop manipulatives that I can show students. I can also use a drawing tool here to write something with these. So these are my ones. This needs to be embedded into the Nearpod if it's going to be able to work live in the Nearpod. So anyone on the internet with the link can edit. Right now I'm going to change it to view. If I'm just using it for modeling, I don't need students to be able to edit. View, and copy the link. I'll go back to anywhere where I'm building a Nearpod. So let's say this is where I'm building my Nearpod in my slides here. And then I'll embed web content. When I embed that set of slides as web content, I just put the URL in that I just copied. And now that Google slide is embedded in my Nearpod. When I get to that slide in my Nearpod, kids are seeing my Nearpod. That slide pops up, and I can live model. I can drag the manipulatives around. I can draw on that slide. I could do the same thing with a Jamboard. I could do the same thing with any type of whiteboard program. I could do the same thing with a Google Draw. And when they get to that slide, I'll be able to live model for them without sharing my screen. They'll see it right there on the Nearpod.